I like that. I think 3. I think no. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the time that you've all been waiting for, and you can hear based in the background Brendan from EFX and myself having a quick chat about are we live or not. Yes, we are live, and we are live for the official announcement for the NEC Solidarity e-race and who's going to be where and who's going to be in which semi-final. Now, remember, for the last 4.5 days, the drivers have been doing incredible things all around the circuits, and of course, the circuit they could play on was Zolder. Zolder's a 4-kilometer circuit, and times have been exceptionally close. It got really, really close, and even to the point that we had somebody register last night at 9:45 to come and join us. So it looks like we're almost at the crucial part of what is going to be the second part of this NEC Solidarity race. Unfortunately, Sash, I think, has got something else on, so he wasn't able to join me. But needless to say, we're still going to kick off and tell you what is going to happen from here on out. Literally from 8 o'clock this morning when the service shut down, 9 o'clock, we reopened the service to the semi-final tracks. So we've had Silverstone, Laguna Seca, now I'm going to try and remember them all. They're gone out of my head. Laguna Seca, SUZUKA, and Hungaroring. Those are all 4 of the circuits that we've been playing at. And of course, from here on out, from this announcement, the semi-finalists in each of those tracks will now have from as of we open the service straight after this live show, up until tomorrow night at about 5 o'clock, when we will be probably shutting down the service and getting ready to go for the first semi-final at 7 o'clock. So let's speak about that first semi-final. The first semi-final we've got happens at Silverstone. And Silverstone, of course, a magnificent circuit in the United Kingdom, and showing that we are sticking to what we've got in terms of our Intercontinental Challenge here as part of NEC Solidarity e-race. There you have the finalists. Semi-finalist number 1, and the Silverstone circuit sees Bashir Jadwat and Morgan McCall, Leslie Oliphant and Quade Claessens, all of them basically at the top end of the last race, if you recall, at Kyalami. Anu Vasaki was a man who was setting good pace around the Zolder circuit, and he finished up in 14th overall. So you can see there we've got 3, 9, 10, 13, and 14 out of the top 20 who were all split in the same second there in the first 5. Jonathan Mahotsi was just outside of that top 20 in 23rd. Dion Cup and Anrik Oosthuizen, along with Hilton Peters and Franco Albertine, are making up the next part of the top 10. Then it's Devin Piazzamusso. Now, Devin Piazzamusso, if you watch our latest video on all forms of social media, he, of course, is the star of that show. And he puts the Audi completely out of shape coming into the Kleiner chicane at Zolder. Nick Hodgson is there. So is Henry Roux. Nico Roots is up in 14th, having finished 47th overall. And then it's Eli Vergara, Daniel Rowe, Daniel's son, up in 16th, ahead of Donnie Miller. And then you've got Jeff Kruger from the Universal Motorsport team there in 18th place, beating out Werner van Graan, James Leach, Michael Ellett, Dylan Hall, Chris Shorter in 23rd, Michael Oosthuizen, and Davide Favo, making up the top 25 for the incredible circuit known as Silverstone. And, of course, that's the one that's famous for the Abbey Corners, Maggots, Cops, and, remember, the very famous Hanger Straight. So that is semi-final number 1 at the 5.8K circuit at Silverstone. Semi-final 2 heads across to Hungary, to the Hungaroring, and it sees our top 2 qualifiers make it into the top 2 for the semi-final. At the Hungaroring, it's going to be Jordan Sherritt and Luke Lachesi, who are alongside each other, having finished first and second in the qualifying and the hot laps, and line up on that front row. Second row is made up of Julian Familiaris and Robert Whiting. You can see they both finished 6th and 7th place, respectively, in the top 100 fight. Jason Absmeyer is up in 5th. He's in 15th overall. Bruno Cadile, another man who finished 3rd, of course, at Kyalami, is looking for a chance now to be into that top 6. Multiple South African champion Michael Steven is in 7th, ahead of Richard van Koller, Dierwald Nel, Marcus Steyn, Maynard Grift, Jonathan Bentz, and Darren Peens. The second part of that 25 is made up of Blake Kruger, the man who's probably put in the most amount of laps at Zolder than anybody else. He's ahead of Devin Leisha. Then it's Adrian Wood, another one of our top contenders in the global touring cars. He's there too. He joins, of course, another one that we've just spoken about there in the previous semi-final, Daniel Rowe. Jason Null is there ahead of Dierwald Swanepoel. It's Kieran Patterson, Corne Strauss, Victor de Kock, Werner Joubert, that's my M&M, that is, number 71. Sean Scutter, Shirazada, and Lyle Ramsey making up the top 25. And Ramsey finishing up down in 93rd overall there for semi-final number 2. Semi-final number 3, we head across to the forest part of the world, to Suzuka. And it's Suzuka, of course, that takes semi-final 1. So we'll be looking at turn 1, that magnificent Dunlop curve, the Degner curve, the Spoon curve, and the hairpin. And Zaire Esser and Chris Langerveld, 4th and 5th in the top 100, will be front row on that semi-final at Suzuka. Charles Wilkin behind them, only finishing down in 12th place. Brandon Orby, another one of our top contenders from the real racing world, there in 4th, beating Chris Heineke. Then it's Jason Gray, Christos Besson, Martin de Beer, Jan Spammers, Mark Henbury, another man who had a great outing at Kyalami, Mark Antel, it's Leon van Wyk and Bernard King. Then we've got Richard Clark, Sean Buck, Alton Bow, one of our youngest contenders. In fact, he's not the youngest one out there anymore. I think he was outgunned by Mr. Hards, who came through at 14 years of age. But he, of course, is probably in 16 or 17 years of age, ahead of Jason Isherwood, Byron Foster, Mike McGeer, Stephen Hapst. It's Stuart Andrews, Leon LaRue, Craig Hunter, Steve McCarthy, and Dirk Brunt making up the top 100 there. And, of course, he finished in 99 to put him into 25th place for Suzuka and semi-final number 3. From Japan, we head to the other side of the world, if you've got it flattened out on a map, and we head to the United States of America, to the incredible Laguna Circuit. And Laguna Seca, of course, a world-famous circuit that has the incredible corner known as the corkscrew. And, of course, if you're a MotoGP fan, you would have seen Valentino Rossi go up the inside of a certain number 27 from Australia and go on to win a race. Lorenzo Guarteri was quickest there. He finished in 8th place overall, beating out Mark van Rensburg, who was 11th. They'll make up that front row. It's Zander Ruetz and Ulrich Ensslin. Now, Ulrich Ensslin, I know he was very busy with a couple of other online gaming strategies and games he had to participate in over the weekend. So he hasn't had a lot of time at the wheel, but he managed to finish up in 19th nonetheless, and will be looking to possibly get into that top 7 after semi-final 4 comes to a close on Tuesday night. He's ahead of JC Grobler, Johannes Schreling, Dierwold Brummer, Stuart White, who we chatted to last night on the update show, Etienne Kleb, Craig Ecote, Byron Kutzer, Lawrence Stern, Damien Halkett, Adrian de Beer, Amrish Sharinian. It's G-Max, Mr. George Smith himself there in 16th, Wayne Foss and Johan Laviskachny. We got Valdo Swiggers, Noor Hendricks, Marco Arcangeli, I think it's Arcangeli, Heinrich de Vet, Ryan Crichton, and I think Ryan Crichton must be related to another Crichton that we know, Kurt Glasshagen, and Stark Buerter. He was 100th, and the man who was right on the edge of the bubble, making it into semi-final number 4. Now, that's how things are going to go. Now, remember, we got 4 semi-finals on Tuesday night at about 7 o'clock. We'll run until about 9 o'clock to get through all of those semi-finals, and each of them are on different circuits. The top 7 out of each of those semi-finals automatically make it into the final. Then we run a wild card heat, and the wild card, the top 2, will then join the 28 drivers already in the grand final and make their way into that grand final. We've also got a B plate final, which will be happening as well over Tuesday and Wednesday. And for the B plate final, remember, it'll also be taking place for a little bit of the money that's up for grabs. Now, I know that a lot of you have been waiting in anticipation for the announcement of the mystery circuit. Now, the mystery circuit, of course, is the one that we're going to be racing on in the grand final. And a lot of these drivers have been thinking to themselves, what circuit are we going to go to? There are so many options available on ACC. And that's why we've gone with 4 different circuits for the semi-final and 1 mystery circuit for the final. So I'm just going to ramble on a little bit longer, just keep you guys entertained, and maybe just have a sip of my coffee, because it's a busy work to say, especially when you're on your own. So, are you ready for it? The announcement of the mystery circuit for the grand final is, and sticking with the Intercontinental Challenge, we've gone to almost every continent on the world, and well done. We have an announcement to make in terms of where it is. Can I span it out a little bit longer? Come on, a little bit longer, So I'm going to just span it out a little bit longer. So we've got one in Japan, which of course covers, that'll cover Asia, I think. Yes. We've got Europe, which is Hungaroring. We've got North America, which is Laguna Seca. We've got England, who kind of stand on their own. They're no longer part of Europe, so we can't really say that, but they're now on a standalone continent, so they're like 7.5 of the 7 continents. And of course, we've been to Zolder in Belgium. So we've got to either go to South America or we've got to go to Oceania, Australia. Now, if I was a betting man, I would go with Oceania, Australia, and possibly head to one of the most famous circuits in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, our mystery circuit is Mount Panorama in Australia, the home of the Bathurst 1000. And there it is! Mount Panorama, that's where we're going. The home of the Bathurst 1000. Of course, also nicknamed the Mountain. So we're going to have some epic battles, I think, at that circuit. A couple of our drivers that are actually been involved and have been chatting to us online have actually raced at this circuit. So we're looking forward to seeing what's going to happen at Mount Panorama on Wednesday night for the grand finale. I cannot wait to see what these guys and girls are going to be doing here over the next couple of days. Remember, they've got from now until about 6 o'clock tomorrow night to ensure that they've got their semi-final positions all sorted and practices done and cars set up. And then they'll have about 12 hours to play with to get their cars and everything sorted out for Mount Panorama at the grand finale. Remember, come and join us here tonight for the semi-final show. Myself and Sasha Martin-Engel will be chatting to a couple of the drivers, seeing what they've been doing. We'll be watching them in their practice sessions at the 4 semi-final tracks. So you'll be able to see what SUZUKA looks like, what HUNGARORING looks like, what Laguna Seca looks like, and what Silverstone looks like here on Assetto Corsa Competizione. And then, of course, on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, we go live for the grand final, made up of 3 races. We've got the first grand final 1, which is the sprint race to sort out the grid for grand final 2. And in between the 2 of them, we'll be holding the plate final as well. From myself, Greg Maloney, it's awesome to be here. Once again, a massive thank you to NEC, to Pure Storage, AfriHost, Data Science Corporation, and True Race, and all our associate sponsors. We'll see you tonight at 7 o'clock for the update show and bring you into what is happening on each of the semi-final circuits. Take care then. Bye-bye now.